Welcome to Toffee TV. It's the final word. Everton 6, Bournemouth 3. Oh my god. We've got new t-shirts on, available soon from not any high street shop, just ours. Let's boss that, Baz. I like that t-shirt.
You like this one, mate?
I like that. I like the. It's very
it's
you, that.
Mate, it's
very you, that.
It is, mate.
It's very you.
This.
If enough people like them, we'll get them made. These are just ours, but if enough people like them, we will get them made. So there you go. What a mad game. What a mad game it was.
Yeah, I can honestly say, don't think of being to such a crazy game, or if I haven't, it's been years, because it was absolutely berserk, the game. It was such a strange game,
and it was such a roller coaster of emotions as well. Like there was so much joy and just bouncing around, and then it was proper for just a little bit in the second half. It was proper last
15 minutes in that second half was like Martinez all over again, wasn't it?
Well, it was, and we'll come to that. We'll come to that.
No, I just meant emotionally.
No, emotionally.
I'm sitting there at 3-0 thinking, oh, the reaction's going to be great. 3-2 thinking, oh my god, what are we going to be saying? And then at the end you're like, well, what was all the fuss about?
Now, if only you'd mentioned in the prior video that, like, you know, we want to be 3-0 up after half an hour, and then I basically went, do we want to be 3-0 up after half an hour? I remember the last time they did that. So there was that as well. But I mean, it rung the changes. And again, I'm not someone who sits there and goes, oh, what are you doing that for? I just found them a little bit weird, because there was changes, and there was also a change of shape, because we've been playing so well in a 3-5-2, and I know Holgate had a little bit of a dodgy spell on Wednesday night, but there was just loads. There were changes in centre midfield, which I thought made us a little bit not one-dimensional, but it was almost going back to the Martinez model, and I just thought, keep the three at the back and go. If you're going to make changes, but don't just throw the whole thing out. And part of that sort of played out one way and then played out another way as well. It was just really weird.
Yeah, I mean, he said earlier in the week he'd change systems, and that's what will happen throughout the season. I agree with you. Just because we had a dodgy 45 at Stoke, I wouldn't have disappeared with the 3-5-2, because it's been our best formation. Quite simply, we've been on this run because of it. We've looked. The last time we went to a back four, and tried to change it at home, Leicester knocked us out the cup.
And before that was Hull.
Exactly. So when we've done the three, we'd seem to be a lot happier with it. But you know, anyone at half three would have been saying this changes are perfect, wouldn't he? So I think it was just that kind of game, and he come out and said at the end he had to change the formation 2 or 3 times in the game because Bournemouth were doing it. So I mean, that's the good side to him.
Do you think, without having a go at Koeman, do you think he's too reactive to what other managers do, without maybe saying in the first place, well, we're going to do this and you deal with us?
No, not necessarily, because it hasn't played out like that, has it? I think I like the fact that what I like really about him, but okay, is the fact that he can change it. He can see what's going on, because he's got that knowledge as well of playing the game. He can assess it and go, like, we need to do this, we need to do that. And I think you've got to give Bournemouth credit for the way they play, because they looked like I mean, he reminded me of Everton last year, is that they look lovely on the ball, dead neat and tidy, but defensively they're horrendous, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, he does make. He will. I think it's good that he'll make changes. I also think that, although where we are in the league, I still think we're a little bit. He's trying to be a little bit willing to be a little bit experimental at times. Look at all the options. I think the fact that he's trimmed down the squad, he's got rid of most, if not all, but one of the players he didn't want. And he's looking at it and thinking, well, I've got a squad, and this squad, everyone's going to get a chance, because it's that kind of squad, and it's how I fit them in and how I use them. And if I'm going to put Barry in and McCarthy, maybe I'll go to a 4. And he's got lots of options, which is good. He had lots of options before, but they were options that were just weren't going to work for him. So there's that part of it. I suppose it was just surprising seeing Barry and McCarthy back in the midfield together.
But can I just add, before you take us on to the game, can I just say to you that under David Moyes we had 12 players we knew that were playing every week, and it was just nothing. And then under Martinez there was 12 players that should never have been playing that were playing every week. Whereas I think with this manager, I think he's willing to change. I don't feel as though he changes it for the sake of changing it. I feel as though he genuinely is looking and going like this, you know, we're playing these two today because I feel as though we'll get a result with these two. Whereas I think sometimes you can experiment for. I remember Roberto Martinez changing our team against Crystal Palace after we battered Wolfsburg, and we went in on the Sunday and he'd made about 8 changes.
He did the same when we beat
Atsu and Etri.
He did the same when we beat Wolfsburg away, and he changed it for Spurs.
Yeah, so I think the fact.
No, I completely agree. And also this is something that we haven't had for a long time. He's got a squad now where you look at the bench and you look at them and go, he could be playing instead of him today. He could be playing. That's the level you've got to be at. To win trophies, like, you've got to look at the bench. You've got to look at who's not on the bench and go, they could be starting today, and they're not even in the match day squad. That's what. And we've said this. The problem with that is, and this is where we used to fall down with Moyes, is we never had that squad good enough that there was players who weren't playing, that weren't even sitting on the bench, because we couldn't offer them the football, and we couldn't get to that level. And we couldn't get to that level because we never had the squad. So it was like a chicken and egg, and it's really interesting what we'll look. I mean,
let's be honest, the kids have made a massive difference.
Oh yeah,
because Holgate and Davies coming in. We've bought Lookman, so he's slightly different, but Holgate and Davies coming in are like two. You're looking at them, and you could have paid 10 million each for those kind of players to come in and bolster that squad. So they come in, we've got them. I think for the first, I can't remember, and I don't want to go overboard because we've done it with other things and we've got excited, but I certainly can't remember a midfield 6 where as strong as what we've got now, where every partnership. People were disappointed on Saturday. I was scratching my head, I'll be honest, on the way to match, going, how come he's gone with Barry and McCarthy? People were disappointed. 2 years ago they were our first choice. There would have been a nervous breakdown if them two weren't playing. Now we're going, should they really be playing? Because, you know, and Tom Davies was out. So I suppose that's the strength of this squad that he's got.
What we've got to get used to. For me, I just looked at it and went, is this just McCarthy, Snyder and Barry? I thought, is that being a little bit too are we respecting Bournemouth too much? Because it didn't, you want a little bit more attack. I don't think I still don't think 3 up front really works for us, the way we play it. So that's the way I was looking at it. But with the game, I mean, within 30 seconds, everything's changed. I mean,
the quickest free kick ever.
We played that, mad free
1 second or
something. A free kick for the lad running into somebody, basically.
He said he grabbed them down, and when I watched it again, and he does, but you never see that because we had the ball. But anyway,
but we're on. We give them the ball, but then there's that midfield. We catch them high up the pitch. McCarthy gives it to Rom.
The ball down, Barkley almost gets there. McCarthy almost gets there, but Schneiderlin, he not only does he get there, he just plays it first time. Them balls you were talking about the other night, the ones that aren't the angles, he just rolls it. It was just a fantastic ball. And from there it's into
McCarthy into Rom. Rom just takes that lovely little touch out of his feet and whips it, and you're 1-0 and you're just thinking, happy days, here we go, here's that early goal. And the mad thing was, though, between the spell really when we scored that, from where we scored that second goal, they had all the ball. They had all the ball. And it was like we were playing counter-attack football. It was like he'd said to them, listen, they're going to have loads of the ball. We've got 3 in midfield that are going to stifle them, and just get the ball up as fast as you can. And it worked. I mean, the second goal, again, gets into the channel where Ron isn't supposed to run. Lovely little... Once he gets into box, and this was all... Gerard Deulofeu, if you ever want to know why, the thing I hated most about, not hated, that's a horrible word, but the thing that annoyed me most about you was Rom gets it in the box and he knows, you can't touch me, lad. I'm going to do the little lollipops and all that, and I'm going to make something happen. He does. McCarthy sticks it, says, give it to me. Okay, it's took a couple of bounces, but it's gone in, and we're 2-0 up, and from 2 attacks we're 2-0 up.
Yeah, it was really weird. That it was almost that thing where we scored too early, that everyone's I know it sounds ridiculous scoring too early, but everyone's a bit like, oh, okay. we're winning. And then everyone just kind of sat down in the seat, and then Bournemouth done what they do, which is what Everton done under Martinez for 2 years, which was have all the ball and offer absolutely no threat at all, because they didn't offer any kind of threat. They were great until the final third, and then Everton, we just had blockers in front.
But we were deep as well, weren't we?
I thought McCarthy was brilliant at pressing and showing why Koeman has said this week he's a big part of it. But you're right, the second goal, it's another nice little bit of football. It gets into Romelu, he just goes between two of them. I'm not sure if he means the flick through the legs, he does a step over and kind of, but he gets in and he picks someone out. And too often our players don't pick people out in them positions. And
it's mad, because Snidely nearly takes it off him.
Nearly took it off him.
That shows how many players we were getting in the box.
But it was great, because he has a go with his right foot and it hits his standard leg and bounces.
Well, you know what he does? He does that. He does the little flick. Does the little flick to catch it, and it ends up in the back of the net.
But it was great getting a spawny goal.
Yeah, 2-0 up, cruising. Right. Then their defender, I've got no idea what he was doing, decides to give it to Rom. And to be fair to Rom, it's a lovely little finish. It just dinks it over the keeper. Nearly gets a fourth when gets played through, but just couldn't get there in time. And at that time, everything's great.
You're not really going to let the half go without the Lookman track back and shot, are you?
Well,
the feet, the little.
Well, I was going to do a whole section on. Oh. No, it was lovely. It was a lovely little touch.
You know what annoyed me, mate? Not about Lookman, but just because you've got to half time. We got 3-0 up at half 3, like I'd asked us to be. And then we done that thing that we done, I remember last year against Sunderland, and it was a similar kind of thing. We got so far ahead in the game, or it was so easy the game, that we kind of just went, yeah, this is 3-0, and we started playing triangles in our half, and I'm thinking, just go with these, because at that stage, once they give that back pass and Ron put it in, they were gone. They were scratching their heads, they weren't even competing anymore. We could have gone at them and made it 4 and 5-0, and I think what will take us to that next level is that ruthlessness of just going, these are here, smell the blood, we've got 3, 4 and 5, and it would have destroyed them. Well, I
think it's also having a bit of control in the game, which we'll talk about in a minute. Lookman, I thought he did okay. I don't think he was brilliant, simply because I just don't think that position suits him. Lovely little touch. That little touch was fantastic. He opened the space up for himself so well. He did the little thing in the second half as well. Standing on the ball and flicking it with his left foot with his boot on. And he was great for little things like that. But I don't know if he was ever sort of. And I'm not having a go with that lad. I'm just, his position was just, I think, a bit alien for him. And this is where you can be caught out quite early when it's early in your Premier League career, not knowing where all the places are to run. I think sometimes you have to simplify it a little bit, and that's where he's been great coming off the bench. It's dead simple for him. Comes off, run around, make a nuisance of yourself, play high up the pitch, no responsibility. Whereas on Saturday he had a little bit more responsibility. The manager might have done that on purpose, for all I know. Do you know what I mean? He might have done that on purpose, but he got caught out. Sometimes attacking because he was not quite in the right areas, and sometimes defensively because he had a job to do. I'm not saying Charlton never had any responsibilities, but you're going up a level and suddenly things become a little bit harder and a little bit trickier. But his little moments were great and are a little bit of an inspiration from what we can see in the future of him.
Definitely. I mean, the game itself allowed him, and we said he might come in because they're a footballing side, so it allowed them to show those little cameos. And having a player like that in your team is a bag of tricks. They look scared of him. He done that double step over in the first half, and 2 of them looked like they were about to fall over, and he just had the ball. But you want him. I just found it strange where he was playing after Ronald Koeman's comments on Wednesday night, when he said he was good, but he was having the ball in the wrong area and it wasn't hurting the opposition. It was a bit like where Kevin Morales plays, which is too deep to hurt anyone. And I'm thinking, if Lookman's up with Rom, he'll destroy these, because you want him doing them tricks in and around the penalty area.
But then you didn't have the midfield to really.
But then who would have covered?
That's what I'm saying. It's even if it was a triangle.
But then Schneiderlin, I suppose.
But even if it was a triangle, it would have been really. It would have been all over the gaff, wouldn't it? Let's be honest. At least you can put Ross one side and you can put Davies the other side if you've got those two. But I mean, it's a.
Well, he showed enough to say that he's definitely gonna be.
He's a Premier League player. He's not. He's a Premier League player. You can see that.
And he nearly scores, doesn't he, after McCarthy chance?
Yeah.
Just gets.
So we get to half time, 3-0, and as you say, everyone's happy, everyone's cruising. But we come out the second half. Now, as you say, in the first half, they're on the knees. You keep going at them, you could probably get a fourth, maybe a fifth if you keep going at them. Second half, they've probably gone in, and you know what? They've probably looked at the other results, and all the other results were against them. And he's probably gone, do you know what, lads? We can't just throw this game away. We've got to have a go here and see what we can get. And fair play to him. Eddie Howe's made he's made changes that have affected the game, pushed Wilshere up a little bit, put a little bit of pace on, and he's probably identified the places where they could get at us, or where, and fair play to him, it really worked. And for the first 15-20 minutes we just couldn't get the ball, and that was the big thing for me. We couldn't get the ball and keep it, and it annoyed me, because again, this is where this team's going to have to grow up a little bit, or grow, is, for me, we should have come out the second half and it should have been, lads, just keep giving Snidland the ball. And if you've got nowhere to go, give it back to Snidland. And every time, because for me, every time we got it in that second half, we were looking to just get in every time. But the changes had been made to stop that. You know, we were trying to. They were really nice on the ball, but they changed the shape, and we're trying to do the same things. And I think that's where we got caught out in that second half. Everything was get the ball over the top as quick as you can to Rom, and we're in. Where it should have been, lads, settle down, get the ball, take the sting out the game, and then we'll go on in the final stages when they're getting more and more desperate to get that first goal. But because we allowed them to get that first goal quite early, they settled a little bit more then, and once he got the first goal, they could be patient. But if we took that first 10 minutes out the game, they wouldn't have got anywhere near us.
Yeah, I think to carry on playing the way we were playing, we had to get someone next to Ron.
Yeah,
because we were knocking decent balls up to him, but he was outnumbered too many times. Two defenders, so he won a few headers, but no one near him. You can see him going, come and join me, you know, get round him. And that's why I think if he'd have pushed Lookman up, if he'd have said to Ross, 15 minutes, just sit back, just give it 15, go and sit back. Ross was boss, by the way, and I said on me thing, he'd definitely been practicing slideys and training.
No, he was tackling us.
He was sliding up to the hilt.
But do you think, you mentioned that, do you think Ross got caught between sort of the devil and the deep blue sea? Because you're asking him to push on, but his natural instinct is to drop into midfield and help those older players, but it didn't help.
He ended up on the right and he was out the game.
But as I'm saying, it didn't actually help him dropping in.
No, but that's why I was saying, if he'd have pushed Lookman up, he could have switched the shape, and he could have just...
But he didn't, and that's what I'm saying. Ross, by his very nature, started to drop in midfield and actually make it easier, because every time we wanted an out ball, there wasn't one, because Lookman was having to deal, was actually starting to be like a left midfielder.
Yeah.
And it was just, they were just pushing us further, because they are so good on the ball.
They are good on the ball.
They are so good, but because we had no control of the ball whatsoever, and as I say, every time we got the ball, we just went, oh, let's get it, let's get it.
Give it away, didn't we?
Whereas it should have been just like, lads, calm down, use the ball well. And I just think, as I say, we got through that first 10 minutes with us just controlling the ball. Okay, it might have been boring, it mightn't have been like great to watching, but just said to them, if you want to break us down, you're going to need the...
I really think, you know, 3, 4, 5 minutes into that second half, we should have taken Gareth Barry off.
Yeah.
And put maybe Garner on, or maybe Tom Davies, and just because they got older than midfield right after half time. And we sat back and allowed them to play in front of us, and the minutes went by, they had all the ball, they weren't really doing anything, but they were having the ball, and once they start dominating the ball, you get edgy as a fan, and the defence was getting edgy, because like you said, when we did get it back, we just giving it away again, and so everyone's going, settle down, but no one's settled. The players aren't settled, and we weren't settled, and it gave them. They just kept doing it, and you've got to give them credit, because they just kept going and going and going.
They were a decent side.
They pass it. If they weren't horrific at the back,
exactly,
you can see why they tried to get Jagielka, because they've got
a championship back four, literally got a championship back four. They're missing Aki massively, but we just kept, and there's no, as you say, there's no point having a midfield if you're going to just bypass them and hit it into aimless places. They've got too many good footballers.
So you've got to put legs in there.
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But that's why I'm saying, if we just give it to Snidland, we just give it to Snidland. But he's getting bypassed all the time. All those midfielders, where we just needed a little bit more presence in there. Yeah. It's like why we used to bring Tom Cleverley on all the time, because the theory is, You've got more footballers in there, you can keep the ball better, but we didn't, we just bypassed them. I mean, he scored the goal. I think there's a couple of mistakes. I mean, if you look at the ball, I mean, you ask for, if you want to look for criticism, if you look at the pass, Wilshere actually tells him where to go.
There's no pressure.
So if you've got someone tighter on, well, there might be three actually. If you've got someone tighter on Wilshere there a little bit, I think it might be Barry running with him. So you might have, if you want someone snapping him, not allowing him to get that ball over, then that's number one. The second one, is it Williams, is it Funes Mori? Well, I'll make it very easy for you, it's Funes Mori. And the reason why it's Funes Mori is if you watch it again, and I was saying this to you before, Williams is standing there looking forward, he's looking at the ball, and he's got a man 5 yards in front of him. Now if that ball goes short to that lad, if Williams is watching this other fella, that lad gets the ball and just spins, and he's got a shot on goal. Williams is keeping an eye on him, he is making sure that if that ball goes in, he's into him. That's what Williams does really well. Funes Mori is on the left of him, side on, can see what's going on there and what's going on there. The lad runs through that gap. Now behind Funes Mori there's a player, but Baines and Lookman have got him. So Funes Mori's let his man go, and that's the top and bottom of it. He's let his man go. Now there's one more person I will criticise, and people mightn't like this. I don't understand why Joel comes off his line. I don't get that at all. I think he's got something he's got to start realising there, that he can't, if he stays on his line there, that lad's just going to go and just knock it back. Look how that lad's just got no time at all. He's got one thing he can do, and all he can do is knock it. If Joel just stays on his line, he picks that ball up. So I know, but this is the difference between a good keeper and a top quality keeper, I think. And that's what I think Joel, I like Joel a lot, but I think that's what he's got to learn. He does not have to come for that ball. Honestly, he doesn't. You know, when you see goalies run out of the area, okay, it's a bit more obvious then, but he makes a decision to run 3 yards, and that decision is huge.
I've watched it again at the time, and I think I said on my reaction video, I didn't know whether he could come off his line quicker, because at the time when I'm sitting in the Bullens, I see Josh King spin, and I'm thinking, who's gone with him? No, Mori is reacting all the time. He's not anticipating. And the next minute he gets a touch and he's got time to flick it under Joel. I'm thinking, if he'd have come and anticipated it, when I watch it again, there's no space for him to come. He doesn't really need to come.
He doesn't
and
need
I
to
think
come.
You're right, he probably should just stand it up a little bit, but you can't get away from the fact, A, there's no pressure on the ball, and B, you're a centre. If you're marking me, your only job is to watch me. Josh King stands by Funes Mori. And
this is not, we're not having a go. Stoffel, I know people think we're like food, but just what, honestly,
you know, Funes Mori, and I'll say this, like, he's probably one of a couple Everton players I want to do better than anyone else, because I love his barbecues. B, his hair's immaculate. He'd like socks over the knee, and he really wants to be boss for us, and I want him to be boss. But this is the weakest part of his game, is when he's up against the centre forward with movement, and it's the reason why the Sunderland game kind of terrifies me if we play 4 at the back, because Jermaine Defoe will eat him up all day long because his movement's quick. All Josh King does, he doesn't do anything clever. He's just jogging, Wilshere points and he runs, and Wilshere just dinks it, and Ashley Williams, like you're saying, is watching a man in front, and the next minute the ball's there, and as he turns, he doesn't know King's there. King's in. Funes Mori reacts late, and then, like you said, Joel makes the fella's mind.
And I know people are like, well, I know there's an argument for like, oh, he's better than him, but the problem, Williams is our organiser. He organises the back three.
Williams is his boss. It's just that he's got no pace.
He's no pace, and he can be called flat-footed. And why on hell he was trying to get one-on-one with the keeper, I'll never know. But
trying to get him.
I know, he just kept on running. Fair play to him. But this is why I don't like us having playing in a back four, because there's hardly any pace between them, which is a bit of a worry. So if one of them does get caught, and I've said this before about Funes Mori, if he had pace, he'd make up for all those little brain farts. You know, Distan used to do it all the time, but he doesn't. And maybe it's something he will learn. I don't know, but that player running through that's a centre forward will do that all day long. They will run between the centre backs.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what you're supposed to do. You will always have 2 centre backs. One sits in front of the other one. That's how one dominates and one sweeps behind. Anyone who's ever played football at any level knows that. One in front, one sweeps behind. It's that simple. So the centre forward has to run through the gap. But if you make
it's not even a clever run. It's not as if he's gone one and spun you in. All he's done is he's been stood square on, and Wilshire's got it, and he's just ran across the area like you would. The gap's there because Funes Mori hasn't gone straight away, and he can see that Williams can't see. He just runs in behind. Wilshere drops it in, then react, and that's where. And listen, we're boss and all that, but these are little things that at 0-0 it's a mass, or at 1-0. These are things we've got to iron out.
Listen, you were in that stadium at 3-2. This is why we talk about it, because you can't just go. We did this last season. We sat here after the Villa game, and we pointed out. We pointed out all the little reasons why it could and should be better, and people were like, "Why?" And then on the Saturday we got turned over by West Ham, and it was like, we're just. It's great it's great to be great and all that, but you still got to point out where the team, if the team wants to be better, it's got to either cut out these issues or bring better players in. And that's all it is.
As Funes Mori has got like a lot of plus points, I just think for him, he's just got to realise he's got a man to mark. So if he plays zonal and all that, then the manager has to address it then. But he's got to. Just too many times for me, the centre forward gets an easy run off of me. The game before, was it the Man City game? Before, a couple of times where they just ran off the back of him.
It does happen quite a lot. But when we have a three, it's much better because it's
where you'd have Holgate sweeping that area there.
When you got three, you look at it and it's three instead of two. It makes more sense.
Yeah.
And then you. See,
well, it's 3-1. You feel immediately people go, well, because it's been, if it had been 3-0 and we were bossing it and they broke and scored, you'd just go, come on. But because they'd had all the ball, the deflate, you could feel the ground deflating. Then James McCarthy gets in straight away for 4. He's in, it's a good little move. He drags and sends the fella the wrong way, and you're thinking Lassie. And I don't know whether it's
just to take the sting out
or whatever, but
just to take the sting out of it. But you're right, and there was players at that point looking at each other, going, "What's going on there? What's going on there?" And that when people go, when players are saying "calm down" to fans are looking at it, and they can see it. They can see players pointing at each other, going, "What?" And you've got. That's what was happening. Like Sneijder was like, "What's going on here?" And actually, he was like, "What? Why isn't the pressure on the ball for him to put the ball over?" That's what gets the fans edgy, because if they're looking at players going, "If you can't see what's going on, then what are we supposed to do?" Do you know what I mean? They had the one. They got in again. The lads wrapped it in, and Joel's had to push it wide. And again, people are looking at each other going, and the fans are getting edgy. They get the corner and. Again, it's players switching off, and this is what we talked about before about Lookman. Lookman actually switches off. He doesn't follow the run because they've set up all right. They've took a short one. We've set up all right, Baines, Lookman, but Lookman doesn't follow the run because it's not his natural instinct to do that. I don't think the lads whipped it in. Coleman's in front of him. I mean, such a good ball anyway. Coleman's probably.
Can I ask you this about the goal? And Joe, I do like Joel's boss, but. Why did he go it with his feet?
I don't know.
Because the amount of times I see goalkeepers, and he does it, after it, ironically, he come and caught across that way. That's here. And instead of trying to dive to cut the thing out, he just sits on the floor and puts his leg up and he rolls it, so he looks ridiculous when it's in the net.
I don't know. I mean, it's happened in a second. You've got.
Be very picky.
I'm not a goalkeeper. The ball across the face is fantastic.
It's a great
because
ball.
Coleman's probably thinking, if I touch this, it's going in. It's going in, and he might be thinking, but no one else is getting a touch on this. So the lad.
It was very Delafeu versus Leicester.
The lad, to be fair. He sticks his foot out, it angles really the only place he could go. And then now you're just sitting there going, oh my God.
Here we go.
And again, no, they kept going and they kept going for it, and they got that free kick, and he made it great. And the fans at this point are thinking, if they get a third, as fans you're thinking, if they get a third, they're going to get a fourth because they're in total control of this game. And then he made a couple of changes.
Saved by Joe. I mean, first of all, it was a foul on Baines, which the referee. Let me just talk about that referee. There wasn't a bad tackle in the game, and he made refereeing that.
Oh, I don't know. There might have been one by Sneijder into the face.
It was right below me when he got booked.
Yeah.
No, there was nothing in it. It was right by me. Didn't touch him. Just a normal tackle. But he made refereeing that game look difficult. He booked Tom Davies for a deliberate handball, and the ball hit him there.
Yeah.
he's booked Bain. I think he booked Baines or for a nothing. And the players are looking, going, what's going on? Ashley Williams gets kicked by Josh King and nearly gives the ball away to him, and the referee plays on, falls over. The referee plays on.
Morales gets thrown over on the floor.
But for that one, Baines, so the lad jumps into Baines with a high foot. Yeah. He allows play to go on, which is berserk. It breaks to Morales, who's running. They throw him on the floor right in front of the referee, and he allows play to go on, and it ends up with Arthur has a shot. Joel pushes it wide, then boots the ball into the street end, gets booked from the corner. It comes out, Baines does the header, Arthur hits it, it comes back and he whips it, and as he's hit it I've thought, I've literally gone, no, because he caught it that well, and then obviously the big barbecue, no, he's the basketball man, hands come out and he makes a absolute worldie of a save because it's lightning, the shot is brilliant.
And he bent it as well, round one of our players.
You're just thinking, oh my god, this is going...
Glad to see balls, places going off and all that, and it's fine margin.
Ross hits a ball.
But then, we were just so desperate to that point. But then he made a couple of changes. Brings Davies on, he brought Davies and Holgate on and changed it. But then we just simplified it. We started doing...
Why did he put Morales on and put him in midfield where he's no good? He's better with...
I think he was just trying to get a grip of the situation. But the grip of the situation was really easy to solve. I thought it was get the ball to Snyder. Because every time Snyder got the ball, he just got the ball, and he's physical, he's big. If you're going to try and get it off him, you've got to basically have to foul him, haven't you? He's a big lad, and he just kept on getting it and giving it, and then they were giving him it back, and then he just turned and found another little angle and get it and give it back, and he kept it so simple, and it took the sting out the game when the game just needed to be a knife through the ball, like when you kicked it over your neighbour's house and they were bastards. It took the sting out the game for that 5 minutes, because when we were really the whole thing was just rocking and falling backwards, and the crowd was fucking angry as hell, and he played, and then he gets it, gives a little ball to Ron. Ron plays out amazing that ball to Coleman is fantastic.
Looks the other way.
It's just like
it's the eyes
and Coleman, to be fair, picks him out wonderfully, and the finish, he sees the keeper going that way into Stones. I'll use all the pace on the cross and put it back where it came from, and it's 4-2.
And you just go...
Calmness, everyone's just like, yes, this isn't going to happen to us, thank you. But that's all it needed. All it needed was a little change in personnel. Barry, bless him, just couldn't really keep up. Just start giving the ball to Snidland. Snidland just moves it, gets it back, moves it, gets it back. It was just what we should have done.
Just play them at their own game, almost.
Just control the ball. It's very hard to score when you haven't got the ball. Very hard. But they just, as I say, they just pushed us back, and then when they scored, got it back, pushed us back, pushed back.
Once it went 4-2, we got the control back of the game. Well, once we went to 3 at the back, we got control of the ball and the game, and our better players, without being disrespectful to them, we have got better players than them. We took over, and we get the 4th goal, and then the 5th goal is absolutely brilliant as well. Hasn't had anywhere near enough credit, the 5th goal, because it's a ball into Rom, he flicks it to Ross and carries on running, and Ross just does. I mean, if that was Dele Alli, he'd be making
statues,
everything of him, you know, or if it was Lallana.
It was such a good back heel as well. It was
just amazing.
It was weighted so well that it tempted the defender into going for it, which just allowed Rom the extra yard to get to go past them, and then it's a lovely little finish as well, and
it's a brilliant finish.
And within a minute the game's dead and buried. Rom's got 4, and you're just thinking he's got 4, set 2 up.
Gavin at that stage obviously it was only 5.
Yeah,
we did, but he had 4.
No, sorry, set 1 up and set one of his own up as well. Sorry, that's what I meant to say.
But it was
helped with one of his own.
He was brilliant at his brilliant best and clinical best. I mean, the goal, he has to shrug the defender off his power and pace, and then the finish, because Boris is out to him, he shrugged the fella off, whips it back over.
To be fair, it's finishing.
Finishing's
his best. I
know, but I don't know whether I said this on my video. I don't know whether I've seen a quadruple scored with such brilliant finishes. Every one of them was brilliant in its own way.
I think at times though, like because he scored so early, I think it's that almost like sets him up for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
Like, I've done my job. Now it's like, now I can just... Ferguson used to be the same.
I think, to be honest, mate, when I played, if you scored in the opening couple of minutes,
confidence
you just think, give me the ball, I'll score again. Bolassi's tweeting at 3 o'clock, 3 balls. Lukaku, 3 balls, like it, and next minute he's getting, you know, that's why it's sweet.
But it's
because everyone's got the confidence. He's got the confidence. He's doing well. I think unbelievably, the introduction of like Lookman into the squad seems to have re-energised Rom, and I suppose Schneiderlin, that was a big one, and it's kind of made them go, these actually do want to do things,
and that's it, isn't it? I mean, we don't know what's going to happen in the future. The way I look at it is just appreciate what you've got now. I see people worrying and people saying, oh, this and that, and just appreciate what we've got. We've got I think one of the best strikers in the world playing for us, and I genuinely mean that. I think we've got one of the best strikers in the world. Finishing wise is unbelievable. Okay, there's other assets of his game that might actually put other teams off signing, because I certainly don't think he's a Chelsea player by any means. I don't think he can play that role that they want if Costa went. But he's one of the best strikers in the world, and of course there'll be a time when, and probably that time has actually already come about 2 years ago, when he could have easily just gone, right, I'm on to my next thing. But I just say appreciate him and just be happy with you, and hope.
I'd love to think we could get another 18 months out of him, because I'm not sure.
I said that 18 months ago though.
I know, but I just feel now with the way the club's going, the direction of the club, and I just think this could be a big summer. I think if we could do one more season for us.
Can we just get that contract signed, just at least? And I know that doesn't mean anything.
According to the Express, he signed it in December. Yeah,
but well, as chairman said, his agent said the same thing and alluded to that the chairman had it was all done with the chairman. I'd just like to get that contract signed, and I know that doesn't mean anything, but what it means is fat wedge.
Yeah,
you know? But just I mean, I think this is half the problem with why people don't want to fall in love with him, because of having the heartache of that if he did leave. And I just think, no, appreciate him now. Appreciate that you've got one of the best strikers in the world, and you know he'll take the record for, he's already Everton's highest ever European goal scorer, which isn't that hard, but you know he'll take the Premier League record soon, and that won't be beaten for a long time.
23. So he doesn't have to get off anyway.
He doesn't have to get off.
I just think.
I know what you. I know.
Just feel as though
there's a path about to cross.
You know where he is though, and he kind of alluded to it in his post-match comments. What he was saying about he knows the club's changing and what they want to do, and he believes in that. I know players say things. I'm not going to say what he says. I'm not naive enough, but I just feel as though, if you're Romelu Lukaku, right, you are. Get that number fucking 9 on his back, by the way. That's shite. You're the main man at Everton.
Yeah.
You're playing in front of full houses every week at Goodison, every other week. You've got a world class name in Ronald Koeman. You can debate whether he's a world class manager or not. There's now a backer at the club with a fat wedge. There's a lot of young, exciting players in the squad. They're looking to bring in. Just give it one more year and be the main man.
Can I add one more thing to that? He's got mates at the club as well. His best mate plays for the club by the looks of it. He's got people like Lookman, he's took under his wing. Yeah. I also noticed there seems to be a little bit of a thing with him and Schneiderlin as well. Probably both speak the same language and all that. Seems and
them kind of moves as you're a player.
He's got Pogba as well. Pogba's his mate.
Pogba's coming.
I don't think Pogba's coming.
Where's the exclusive?
Pogba's one
that video on private?
Pogba's one of his mates. Unless he goes to one of the Manchester clubs, which I really hope he doesn't, but unless he goes to one of the Manchester...
Well, I want to leave, so...
Well, it would probably be the other one that I'd be more worried about at the moment. But I don't think he's a City player.
Zlatan's got 20 already.
I know, but I don't think he's a City player. No. I see him more as a United player.
But I'm saying...
But would he want to play for Mourinho? No, but he's got... That's what I'm saying, that he's got everything in place. And as you say, I think what we really need is... We really need Champions League football to No, I do though. I think that's the thing. I'm just saying. I think players are prepared to forego like the trophies and stuff. But if you're giving them Champions League football, they'll stay.
But we're not going to have that next year, are we?
And that's the problem, isn't
right?
it?
But
isn't
what
it?
I'm saying to you is, potentially, if he, and he says he's thinking about the now and he looks too far ahead and all that. If he can get that big fat contract signed, he's 23. You know, he could look and maybe go, let's see if we can get into the Europa League, and then next summer.
I suppose for the project, next season's going to be the big one, because next season you'd think by the start of next season we'll know about the ground concrete. I think in the summer.
I think you'll know by April.
No, I know that's before next season. So, and in the summer, I think that's when. So we've had the turnaround of the shy players. They've gone. We've now got the base. This is our base. So we're building on that base. The only way you can build on a base is by buying top class players. So if a couple of top class players come in the summer, then again he'll look at it and go, how fast is all this turning around? It's all turning. Do you know what I mean? And that's, for me, that's the big thing. Then if he sees that and goes, well, I'll if we can get into the Champions League this year, because I'll be honest with it, if I was him, you wouldn't be sitting there going, well, I'll give it another year, it's next year, isn't it? If we don't get in the Champions League,
if it doesn't happen next year, like you go.
No, and it could still happen the year after, but he'll be like, well, I want it now. I want it. I'm 24, 25. I want it now. So I'm not saying he will. I'm not saying he won't. I just hope to give him the contract. But again, it could be determined by. Well, it probably will be determined by outside forces. If Real Madrid come for him, if they say, right, with Benzema's time he is finished, we can replace him with Lukaku, then.
Well, you couldn't begrudge him going to Real Madrid.
Listen, I couldn't say anything.
But I'm just saying, hopefully,
if Zlatan might turn around and say, thanks but no thanks, mightn't he?
I think hopefully we'll have him for another, because I'd just like to see better people around them as well, and a partner who can put the ball in the net like him, and just see what we
But as I say,
but back to the game.
But going back to the original point, just appreciate them now, please. Just appreciate for what we've got, because it's fucking hell, we mightn't see the likes for a while, because to replace him is going to cost a lot of money, and that person to buy into, and it's a lot easier to buy into what you're doing when you're already at the club, to convince someone to come from the outside.
But anyway, we got it to 5-2.
Got it to 5.
Great back heel and all that, and then.
What
did we do again? The same goal, and I mean, we've already celebrated Nayas scoring, but all the ground's gone off, and then we just give them another.
One of the stupidest goals.
To be fair, Harry Arter plays a 1-2 with the advertisement board. That's how far out the ball went. You had to drag the ball back in to go round the post to put it back in, and you've got the clown Jones not having a clue, the line and not. It's embarrassing, and that could have happened at 3-2.
Well, they got a free kick not long after that. And Wilshire's lining it up, and I'm thinking, if this goes top in and there's still a minute left, and it's 5-4, this place is going to be on meltdown.
Oh my God!
The players are going to be nervous as hell, and with a minute left, and you just think these are going to throw the kitchen sink at us. So those things do matter. That the ball was a foot out, but the defending for it was abysmal. Players just jumping in left, right, and centre, almost as in like this doesn't really.
Williams go to ground.
I don't know, but there's other players. He went to ground and took Coleman out. But he was just players. Like, it was like something from Jackass when you see things explode.
It's mad, isn't it, that you get those games where all of a sudden none of them know how to defend. Not one of them was doing.
But it was like, but once he got into the box, it's like, I don't want to touch him. I don't want to touch him. And they nearly had a penalty as well when Baines brought down one of their players on the edge of the box. I know it could have been given as a penalty again. I'm just thinking, now lads, just don't go the game. But
Joel saved the free kick comfortably. Wilson should have put in the.
But. And then we get the icing on the cake. Murray is about 400 yards out. I don't know where he was.
The ball
no, but nobody walking with before he's nearly in their half, then comes back and then just lashes the ball up. And Ross tries to get a touch, but it sort of runs away from him. Straight on to it, the fitness there, fitness of his speed, goes past the keeper, and I don't know if he knows that player is there.
I think he looks.
Did he? Yeah. But he just gives it the celebration, and rolls it in, and yeah, and it's great. And you're just thinking, fuck, he's gone.
Imagine if he was shin.
Imagine he just like it just hit a bobble, or that lad had got like a burst of speed and thought, fuck you, fuck you, you're not getting this. Imagine now.
I love the picture where he's like that, and Rom's just got his hands up. The ball's nowhere near it. Rom's hands are up.
Oh,
but it was the icing on the cake, and he deserved that, Ross. And all the people, listen, people are saying it's disrespectful and all that. Let's just quickly, you know, talk about the disrespect shown. Is it disrespectful to say he's gone past everyone? He's put it in. It's no more disrespectful than when someone scores an own goal and players pat them on the head. You run in front of people and celebrate in the face. You know, beating teams, is that disrespectful?
Celebrating after you've scored, is that disrespectful?
Right after
and an away ground,
you know,
is that disrespectful?
Kicking someone, is that disrespectful?
I don't even think, and I used to love doing this when I was a kid. I don't even think running over, putting the ball on the line and heading it in.
I thought he should have done it.
I used to do that all the time when I was a kid.
Should have done it.
I used to love doing that. That was the best form of you to everyone, wasn't it? I used to love doing that.
Day, he just stuck his arms out and hit it in. He was running towards the park end. There was nobody around, and he was made up to score the goal, and he knocks it in.
Yeah.
And you know, it was brilliant. What I will say is Bournemouth fans are brilliant, and they just so much respect for them, because they just didn't, even when it went 5-2, they just carried on going, and 5-3 they carried on.
It's fair play to them.
Eddie Howe's done a brilliant job, and they're a team that you hope stay up, because they play nice football, and they're horrible down. I hate that bloody ground, because
we're going to have to be careful.
We're no good, but they are
fall into it, because
they need a centre back. They need a centre back, but
they
were brilliant.
You know, 6-3, and as I say, from the outside it looks brilliant, but as I say, for that patch,
for half an hour,
for that patch in the second half, we were struggling there.
But in a way, it's good, isn't it? Because
it's a lesson learned.
You'll be able to. He's got something, and I think he said this as well, as he's got something to look at now Monday morning. You know, today, as it's so, and say, right, that was fantastic. However, look at it and you watch it again. I mean, I thought it was brilliant to Lookman on his interview afterwards. He said I was at fault for the second goal. None of this hiding. He was straight up. I've gone to sleep, and it's something I've got to learn. Players taking responsibility.
Yeah, only make it better.
And it's going to make you better.
Ghana didn't even get on.
How could you? But that's the madness of it. He's been our best player this season. He didn't get on. Tom Davies, and that again, I said to you before, a big pat on the back for Tom Davies. He's the first name he called.
Well, that's the best thing. The best thing now is about this squad is that, and I think he said it last week. He said the squad's got better by people leaving. There's going to be this. There's going to be a harmony to the squad, because everyone knows that they're fighting for places,
and they might play. And
when they don't play, no one's going to, I don't think, go, oh, I'm not. What's going on here? Why am I playing next week? They're all going to be like, well, I didn't play it, but when I come on, you know, I'm coming on for the team, and then next week I might play. It's all for the team. It's building a much better atmosphere.
Photograph, I think I can't remember if it's after Rom's goal or if it's after Barkley's goal, where it's only Shia Joel celebrating, but they're all there, their faces, they're all in it together. And also as well though, I think, which is important to point out, is players and clubs have this thing, well, they have this thing called the red zone, don't they, where it's like, they monitor, they know when you are, your body's on the point of stress that it'll get injuries. So also they look at all that as well. They'll go, well, he's right at it, he needs a few days. You know, he needs not to start this game, but we can just throw him in. You know, you think about Barry, you think about also someone like Davies, who's at the other end of the spectrum, a lad who's growing. You think to yourself, we'll let him have this one off. We'll put Barry in, and all right. I don't want to see every single game swapping and changing. Don't get me wrong, but if a player gets injured because he's been getting pushed too hard, which I think was the case of McCarthy 2 years ago, he never really got over it. I mean, there's talk again today that he's injured. You don't want that. What you want is to say, listen, we've had a little look, I know you're playing well and I know you're going to be disappointed, but you're not playing this week. And the lads will go, well, fair enough, I do feel it, I'm feeling it. I don't want to not be in the team because we're playing well, but I understand that decision, and that's where I think that's just as important, because we've had teams that have been burnt out
by
March.
You know, you look at Leicester at the moment. That team is completely burnt out because of what happened last season. Chelsea the season before, burnt out. What, you know, there's a team not so far from here that look burnt out now in February, and have had a terrible month, and a month that has knocked them out of every competition and going for the league. That's what it can do for you. You've got to have those players to have that little bit of rotation. Now is the time. Players are tough season, and whether people moaning in and go, footballers are great, like, still get tired. Still, you just come through a December and a January of a mad spell of footy. This is now where you want them to be like, we're going to get you set up now for that end of the season.
I think the biggest thing for me is the fact that you can replace with quality now. Yeah. And that's what we've needed, and we're still a little bit short. We still need another centre forward, no question about it. We still need one, maybe two centre backs. You know, another creative midfield player, potentially a full back here and there wouldn't go amiss. Another keeper, if you want to look at that squad and say that's a proper squad now. But you know,
but what I would say is though, we've gone, I think in the last month or so, we've gone from having our base level about there to our base level being about there, and the next thing is to get that to there, and that's what it's all about. That's how you get from having a decent team to a really good team to a Champions League team. That's what you have to do. You look at like Spurs, that's what they've done. That's exactly what they've done. They've got rid. They've just cut, build, build, and
it'll mean some of your favourites leaving, or some players who you think are really good. That's the way it is.
Or some of your favourites respond. Look at Seamus Coleman in the last month. Yeah. He is, and his interview on Football Focus, where he said,
good.
What he basically said, I don't get these football players that just whinge about when they're told something straight. He said, I want to be told by the manager that I'm playing shite, and I'm going to respond. I'm going to come back with that. He said, I just don't get these footballers who can't handle the truth, whether it be from the manager or from the fans. He said it's all you're in a privileged position, and you've got to respond, and that's what Seamus Coleman has done in the last month or so. He was playing poorly, and he has just come back like the old Seamus Coleman, especially when he was playing in 3-5-2.
Definitely, and this is why we were a bit critical of him earlier in the season. He was dropping below his standards. Now he's not. Now he's flying, and if everyone plays, this Everton side plays to its potential. But Ross Barkley plays to his potential, he's untouchable. Romelu Lukaku at his best is untouchable. You know, other players.
And I think
midfield, you know, Garner gets back to what he was like before.
And I think just to wrap it up, I think the other thing about that is that we spoke about Lukaku. You want players feeling like that if they do leave the club, there's only one place they're going. Do you know what I mean? Alright, Tom Cleverley's left, what's he doing? He's playing well for Watford. He's at Watford though. You know, you look at the players who have left and you go, Oviedo's left, where's he gone? He's gone to Sunderland. Do you know, you want players thinking, I don't want to leave this club. I want to be here while this club's about to fucking explode. I want to be part of it. I want to be part of the you know, for younger player, you want to be part of for when that stadium rolls around, or Champions League or whatever. You want to be part of it. Look at someone like Gareth Barry. He wants to be part of it. He's like, alright, I've got a couple of years left, maybe, but I want to be here, I want to be part of it. Not see me days out.
No, he's not.
What?
Not now, he's not.
You know, well, he wants to be.
I just think the competition in there is
but he wants to be part of the competition now, still doing it, and that's what's great. And if you want to just be at that level where players go, well, if I leave, I'm only going to God knows where.
Well, Jagielka, you know, he's clinging on, isn't he? I don't think he was really. He wasn't desperate to get away in the deadline, you know, but he knows that his days are numbered, quite obviously, because he's not playing. But that's the level you've just hit the nail on. Yeah, players have got to want to stay at this club because it's going somewhere, not just because that's all right. You know, I don't really have to perform, do whatever I want.
Which has been sadly the case in the past.
Ruthless Ronald.
Ooh, Ruthless Ronald and his snidey blues. Gang of bastards. I love it. Right, tell us what you think in the comments. We love to hear your responses. If you've spoke to us after the game on the other videos, then check out your comments as well. And you know what? If you see us at the match, come and say hello. There's been a few messages going, no, I've seen you at the match, but didn't want to come up. Have a chat. Well,
come and sit here. on the sofa.
Hey, if you want to come in, let us know. Come in, you can come in, have a chat with
Don't
us.
say, oh yeah, I want to come on, and never ever respond again.
Can't eat our biscuits. Right,
Bring biscuits.
Thank you. Yeah, bring the biscuits. You bring the biscuits. That's the only rule.
We'll make the tea. You bring the biscuits.
Thank you for watching Toffee TV. We'll see you later.